But yeah, let's officially start. So I'm here with Gary Gray, producer, engineer, drummer, composer, life coach, friend, all around great guy. And today we are talking about the topic of 3D reverb, how to create it, how to use it. Make sure you stick around to the end. At the end of this webinar, we're going to give away a totally free plugin that you guys can use in your mixes. We're also going to give you guys a quick tour of the member site. Even if you're already members, we want you to stick around because we want to walk through, we want to make sure you guys are aware of all the features and benefits of being a member. So make sure you stick around. We're going to walk you through the member site. And also, Gary is going to be talking about his new course, the Advanced Craftsman Clinic series, which is free to all members. So if you're already a member of the site, you already have access to this. This is included in your membership, but we wanted to do a presentation to go over what the course includes and entails. So with that out of the way, Gary, I'll pass it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
And hello, everybody. So today we're going to go over something which is 3D reverb. And before I jump into that, I just wanted to give you, for those of you who may not be members and don't know who I am, my name is Gary Gray, and I'm a producer, engineer, composer, songwriter. And I have several courses that I've done with Aaron since, what was the first year we started, Aaron? Was it like
I think it was like 2012. Yeah, 2011 or 2012, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so 2012, I found out about howtolicenseyourmusic.com. And so Aaron and I, I started learning from Aaron about how to license your music and started getting music licensed. And then Aaron and I became partners, and my specialty is production, and especially music production for licensing. So I started doing courses with Aaron, and those were very successful. So the courses that we have on the member site right now are how to produce music that will get licensed and make you money. Then there's Mysteries of Mastering Solved. There's how to get a killer vocal sound. And then there's Music Production Fundamentals, with mentals in capital letters. And that's kind of the big mother course that we have. It's like 8 hours, 10 videos, which is actually, you'll find out later today in the webinar, but that's the prerequisite for the whole Gary Gray Advanced Craftsman Clinic series. And so those were, over the years since 2012, those were the courses that Aaron and I put together. He facilitated them, and then I shot videos for them. He was actually here in California for a number of those shots from those courses. And then the other side of our relationship, like Aaron and mine, is that Aaron's an incredible songwriter, singer, and like extraordinary guitar player. And so he asked me to produce some of his music. So over the years, we've produced, I produced his music, and we've gotten many placements over the years now. And we've gotten stuff in like video games, on The Young and the Restless, major television networks, and lots of different mediums. So we've been cranking out songs, and we're still, even last week, Aaron sent me an email where, how many tunes did you get accepted, Aaron, where I'm putting together all the stems now?
I think it was like 10 or 12 tracks.
Yeah.
That we've created.
Yeah, so that was very cool. So we're very active, and we try to, practice what we preach. And so with that intro and talking about practicing what we preach, I'm going to show you something that you can use like right now, which is an incredible tool for making your tracks sound definitely more broadcast quality, more radio ready, giving them a certain type of polish that you've probably heard on tracks that you heard on the radio or other licensed tracks, and you couldn't quite, like, I can't get my tracks to sound like that, And so here's one way you can get your tracks to sound like that. And in the normal course of things, reverb is something that, it takes a bit of craftsmanship to learn how to create it so that on one hand, it's not too much, and it's a fine line, and sometimes it's hard to find the sweet spot. You have, like, let's say a guitar, and you want to have a certain type of a reverb on your guitar, And so you start going through different reverbs, different settings, and you go, yeah, that's nice. And then you listen back. The next day you come, you listen to it. It's like, oh my God, it's drowning. It's like too much. So then you cut back and you're looking for the sweet spot. Next day you listen to your track. I can't even hear the reverb. It's not enough. And you try to find that sweet spot. And many times it's elusive. And I have several ways to find that sweet spot. And a number of them are in the courses on the premium site and in the new course. But there's one that's pretty advanced, and I wanted to share it with you because if you didn't see this video that you're about to see right now, it shows you how to do it. Actually, I'm going to show you 2 videos. It would pretty much be impossible to get that sound without knowing the steps behind it. So I'm going to show that video to you now. I want you to take notes if you need to. I mean, there will be a replay. Is that correct, Aaron? Will this video be replayed?
Yeah. I'll post it on YouTube and in the members area.
Okay, great. So it will be replayed, and I'm going to share my screen right now. We're going to get into how to create 3D reverb. Okay, and I'm going to go here. Can you see that, Aaron?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here we go.
Get 3D reverb. Here's an original track that I'm actually in the middle of working on. Here we have lead vocal, we have background vocals, we have horns, we have drums, drum 2, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, bass group 1, bass group 2, and effects.
Someone's asking to bring the audio up. Can you turn it up, Gary?
I'll try.
Track. I'm going to highlight it right here. And you can hear this track as it moves along.
Is that better? That sounds better.
And what you'll hear with this track is these particular highlighted slide guitar tracks dry, without any reverb or anything. So let's listen to these. All right, and to focus in on it, I'm going to solo the second phrase here. All right, excellent. So here's how you put together 3D reverb. I'm going to add an effects track or an AUX track, which is mono, and some DAWs would be like an AUX track. I'm going to name it 3D reverb left. Bring up a EQ, create a bell curve, cut out the lows and the highs, and then we're going to add a reverb. Now, I just got a free reverb. I'd never used this before, and it's free. So this is something you can do in any DAW because you can use this reverb called Proto-Verb. Let's go through the factory presets, and here, thick butter verb. 0, dry, 100% wet. That's key. All right, now I'm going to color that, make sure everything's organized. It's red, and now I'm going to duplicate this track. So I have 2 of them, and I'm going to name this one 3D reverb right. The reason is we're going to pan 3D reverb left, hard left, and pan 3D reverb right, hard right. All right, and now we go back into this slide guitar track, and we send. We're doing send returns. We send to the 3D reverb left, and we send to the 3D reverb right. What's important is here, I'll circle this, is that they have to be the same amounts being sent, same volume in both. So we now have regular reverb set up. We haven't done the final step. So that's our guitar with regular reverb. Now I'll turn it off. Let's hear it dry, just so we have a comparison. That's dry. All right, let's listen to it wet again with regular reverb. Turning both on. Now, the key to creating 3D reverb, the final step, is you throw one of those 2 reverbs out of phase. Listen to this. Is that cool or what? That reverb sounds like it's coming from everywhere and nowhere. It kind of wraps around your head. So let's listen to this again. That's regular reverb. Listen to 3D reverb. All right, let's listen in the mix. Here's back to regular reverb. Not bad, but listen to 3D reverb in the mix. That is so cool. I've got it turned up extra loud so you can hear exactly what I'm doing. I'd have it a little lower in there, but this shows you exactly in a simple way how to do 3D reverb in any DAW with a free plugin.
Okay. So that is how you do 3D reverb. Thank you, Aaron. And, you know, it took me months to figure out a very simple and, you know, teachable way to do that. I was getting it before, and I was, you know, there was all these complicated ways to get it. But once I achieved that simple approach to it, it was really like, I got so excited because I could then teach it easily. And that's when I put that video together, and I love sharing this thing. It's things that people can do like right now. And of course, you know, only one warning, which is, this is what I did when I first learned anything. Okay, like I can go back to my mixes when I learned something, and whatever it is I learned is like all over my mixes. You know, like I go back to when I first started doing 3D reverb, and so that's the only warning. It's such a cool effect that you're gonna like want to put it on everything, and then it's just gonna be too much. So
yeah,
I would just.
I was going to ask you, when would you use 3D reverb as opposed to regular reverb? How do you know when to apply this?
Sure, it's a subjective call, but to answer that, actually, I'm going to show another video, and this is going to show another scenario, Aaron, where I'm using 3D reverb, not so much like this one. Okay, here's to answer your question. Sometimes you want to feature something and make it just sound cool. You know, so it's not just normal. It's like a little ear candy, kind of pulls people into it. That's what I used for. That's what I used it for on this particular recording. Was I love those guitar licks, and I wanted to kind of bring them out in the
bring extra attention to those.
Yeah, and like a little ear candy, and give it some width and depth. So that was bringing attention to something. In the next video, and you're going to see the whole process go over again. You know, but I want you to see it in another context. This is actually one of the tracks that I worked on recently for 20th Century Fox, because I have a client, which is 20th Century Fox, and I do all my work for them out of my home studio. And I also have another client, which is Disney, and they just merged recently. And after the merger, I was called and asked to do the largest project that I've ever been hired for before, which is 6 projects at one time. And one of the things I immediately did when I found out about this project is I contacted Aaron Davison. And I said, hey, Aaron, these projects have guitar all over them. And you're like the man. You're like guitar extraordinaire, you know. So I don't know if you guys ever heard Aaron play, but, you know, he's got YouTube videos and stuff, and it's awesome. So Aaron has now been hired by me to do the guitar work for these Disney 20th Century Fox projects that we have. And I want you to watch this particular video, not just for their 3D reverb. You're going to see another instance of it. And to answer your question more fully, Aaron, like this video is going to show using 3D reverb on more of a background instrument. It's a bass trombone within a whole like epic orchestration. And I put 3D reverb on that particular track because it allowed me to create this depth and width and this feeling of space in the track from just putting 3D reverb on one instrument. And so that takes a little, you know, that's where the art is. So we have the science. I'm showing you the science of it. When to use it, as Aaron is asking, is the art. You know, you have science and art. Art is experimenting. Art is like subjective, and art is like whatever you like. So I was going through this track, and I was wanting this space, this depth, this width in the track. And so I thought, okay, how could I do it? I tried different ways. I tried like there's the Waves S1 widener plugin, maybe a lot of you are familiar with. So I tried that. It was kind of washing out the track. So I put 3D reverb on a bass trombone of all things, and it gave me exactly what I was looking for. So this one was after a little bit of hunting and trying and experimenting. And that's the other way that you can use this particular effect, which is to take one element, and if you find the right one, you can take the whole feel of your entire mix and change it. It's almost like you're kind of mastering your track from within the mix. And so what I'm going to do is show you now. And again, there's two reasons why I'm showing you this particular video. You're going to see another instance of 3D reverb, yes. But also you're going to take a look inside an epic arrangement and a production that can be done in a home studio. I want you guys to know that you can do exactly what you're about to see. And the reason I can prove that is it was all done right here. I mean, you know, this is like a regular little 12 by 12 bedroom. I don't have any special, like, you know, I don't have anything special at all. I don't use any like top line super analog gear. I don't use any expensive plugins. I don't have that many plugins. My whole philosophy and how I teach and how I like to empower you is to teach you that if you improve your ear as a priority and not your gear, you are going to go far. You're going to do so well in this career. And there's two reasons for it. Your products are going to be good, you know, and that's obviously we want your products to be good. We want your productions to be great. But here's what's more important than your music. You. I want you to be so confident in what you're doing that you can't be shaken. Because here's what this industry does. Aaron and I talk about this all the time. It's like, you know, sometimes we laugh in a painful way at how brutal this industry can be when you want to do music full time. And it's so important to be hooked up with people that are like-minded. That's why I love HTLYM Premium, How to License Your Music Premium. It's a community. You know, we have, which you'll see later, we're going to take you on a tour. Aaron's going to take you on a tour, but this is really important. Yes, you're going to see this video in a moment, but I want to just punch home this one point, which is this. The techniques are all cool, but you are the most important thing here. Your confidence is the most important thing. What I try to do is I try to kind of expose all the, you know, the myth makers and brainwashers, I call them. They're not like doing it on purpose necessarily, but what they do is they learn a little tidbit of something and then they pass it on and they say, you got to do it this way. This is how you do it. And then you watch the next tutorial. No, you got to do it that way. And then now you have this conflicting information and you don't know what to do. And it's sucking your confidence. Then you get salesmen. You go into certain places, certain websites, and you'll get on, oh, this is great customer service. You're talking to a salesman. And some salesmen are awesome. They're great. They're very honest. They're, you know, they give you the best information. Some salesmen don't. Let's just be honest. So what happens in every industry? So you can be told, okay, get this interface. It's $1,200, but if you don't get this interface, your tracks are going to be, you're not going to hear everything. It's not, these other interfaces are just not the same, and it's all BS. Okay, there are very few items when it comes to producing music that really make this huge difference, and most of them don't make a huge difference. That do make a difference. They mostly make small differences that you can compensate for in a matter of 30 seconds within a mix. So if any of you out there are thinking that in order to get great mixes, you have to get super analog gear or special speakers, you don't. I have KRK Rocket 5s. I have a 10-inch subwoofer. And the way that I get great mixes, and you're going to see this, you're going to see like I think it's more than 200 tracks in the video you're about to see. It's an epic production. And so do I have anything special to get that epic sound? Nothing. I'm using like mostly just stock plugins, maybe 12 plugins at the most in this entire mix, you know, maybe more than once, but like the compressor that I use, 2 compressors. One is the stock compressor. I use Cubase in this mix. And another is just one additional compressor I put on the bass because it has a nice sound on the bass. And I've recorded vocals. I recorded vocals right here. I recorded them on my SM7B. You know, it's a Shure SM7B. Some of them I recorded on my SM58, you know, $120 microphone. So why didn't I use on this epic production, you know, like a Telefunken U47, the $12,000 microphone? Why? Because there's really no difference. I can tweak my SM58 in a matter of 30 seconds to a minute and get it to sound like a Telefunken U47. You won't hear this everywhere, but this is after I've done like 5,800 hours of research on the difference between digital and analog recording, okay? And so I'm speaking with confidence, not because I want you to believe me. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to be a soldier of research. I want you to know that you are the authority on your music, not me, not anybody else, not any tutorial. I want to empower you to find out the truth. Now, I've had the opportunity to spend a lot of time researching. I'm like the mad scientist, you know, in the laboratory. And I love research. I love to be organized so I can compile it all. Thank God I have a gift for teaching, so I can teach it in a way that you can understand it. But I want you to understand the most important thing is that we need to put all the confidence back in you and take the confidence out of objects like interfaces and speakers. I want to take the confidence out of processes. You got to do it this way. No, I want you to develop your ear. And that's one thing that you'll get on this Craftsman Clinic series is you're going to get ear training exercises. They're music production ear training exercises that help you to fine tune your ear so that you could walk into any studio. Right now, I can walk into any studio and I know how to A/B with references. I've developed a bunch of like revolutionary ways to A/B, which you'll see in the course as well. I don't care what speakers I have. I don't care what microphone I'm using as long as it's working. And I can get an epic masterpiece recording with pretty much any equipment. And that's what I want for you, okay? So with all that said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to open up this next video and watch it for two reasons. Number one, you're going to watch 3D reverb used in a different setting, okay? And I want you to see what can be done, what you can do. And this is where I'm taking you on the Craftsman Clinic series, the Gary Gray Advanced Craftsman Clinic series. It's a correspondence course. You're going to be able to do exactly what you see right now once you're through that course. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get into this next video. So let me get out of here. Okay. And here we go.
All right, let's take a look at this session. We have lead vocals, background vocals, keys, piano, orchestra, effects, guitars, bass, percussion. I'm going to open this up, and you'll see there's well over 200 tracks on this session here. And this, by the way, is done in my home studio. You might recognize this track. This is one category of a type of project that I get from clients like 20th Century Fox that I do in my home studio. And they can be very, big, epic recordings. And I'm excited to show you this technique today, which has to do with reverb.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you waited for.
And I just want you to get a feel of the flow of this song here for a minute.
Searching in the dark, your sweat soaking through the floor.
So you can see the context of how we're going to actually use something called 3D reverb. It's pretty amazing.
Taking your breath, stealing your mind, and all that was real is left behind. Don't fight it, it's coming for you.
Let's just check out this track as it goes along.
This moment, don't care what comes after. Your fever dream, can't you see? Getting closer.
I'm highlighting the trombone track here because that's what we're going to focus on, and I'm going to show you a technique with 3D reverb on that trombone track as we get to it. Just want you to see what's flowing into this part of the song. And by the way, what we're doing here is important from the standpoint of the hat of the producer. We're taking a look at the big picture, looking at the flow of the song, rather than little details, which is the engineer hat. Okay, let's check this out right here. So this low trombone.
Colossal we come, these renegades in the ring. Where the lost get found and the crown of the circus king. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what comes after. It's blinding and shining, anything that you know. Just surrender, get you coming, and you wanna go where it's covered in all the...
All right, I'm just going to loop here. And then I'm going to solo the trombone so you can hear this bass trombone, what we're going to be working with right here.
I don't hear anything, Gary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's
Okay. Now, here's how we create 3D reverb. I'm opening up a mono effects track or auxiliary track, marking it 3D reverb, and I'm going to add a bell-shaped EQ curve on it to begin with. I'm using all stock plugins. You don't need to spend a penny to do this. So there's the bell-shaped EQ, cutting lows and highs, and now I just grab a stock reverb. In this case, I'm going to use a hall reverb and go to a big reverb, like church reverb, keeping it here on 100% wet. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate that. So we have two of them. Call one 3D reverb left and one 3D reverb right. Two mono augs or FX channels with EQ and reverb. Now I'm going to hard pan one to the left and the other to the right. Okay, and now I'm going to route the signal from the trombone to those tracks. 3D reverb left, 3D reverb right. You can hear that with just the reverb. We haven't done the 3D thing yet. And here's how you do the 3D reverb trick. You just throw one of those two out of phase. Listen. Pretty amazing. It's a reverb that kind of envelops you. It sounds like it's coming from behind you or something. Now let's hear it in the track. Here's that trombone, regular. Now listen. That one sound, that one bass trombone with 3D reverb on it can make the whole track have depth and height and width and almost like wrap around you. It's amazing. Now to show you that, that was Cubase, this is the same song that I put up in Logic. And this is on high speed right now, but I just want to show you, without wasting time here, that all the actions that I did in Cubase, I'm doing right now here in Logic. So setting up the mono aux tracks. In Logic, you use a gain plugin. Actuate the out of phase technique. And here's Pro Tools, same thing. I've also sped this up, but I just want you to see that there is an exact way to do this technique in all DAWs. And we're basically doing the same thing. We're just setting up two mono aux tracks with the bell-shaped EQ and reverb at 100% wet. And we hard pan them left and right. And then we throw one of them out of phase. And you can hear it here as we play it. I'm going to slow it down. Okay, here it goes. That trombone. That's with 3D reverb. Without. With. There it is, without. With. And there you have it.
All right. So that's a look inside like a pretty epic production. And, maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I would have been so overwhelmed. I would not know where to start on a project like that. It would just be impossible. So what I've done is I've figured out all the techniques that I had to come up with in order to do projects like that one. And I've codified all the actions that I go through to get there, because I'm under deadline as well. Aaron knows he's with me on this project right now. And we're right now working on certain deadlines. We've got to hit certain quality. When you hear the quality there, and you've got to hit that quality under deadlines, and you can't get there overnight. So one of the things that's great about How to License Your Music Premium and about this new Craftsman Clinic series is that it's a marathon race. Okay, to become successful, you have to have some thick skin. You have to have a support group around you. You're going to want to give up many times, as I have. We've all been there. I call it trial and terror. I've been through years of trial and terror. Okay. And so it's not like I cannot relate. I can totally relate to what you're going through. And it was because of people like Aaron that I didn't give up. Like, you know, it sounds so trite, but one of the things that Aaron kept saying was just like, don't give up. But hearing it from somebody like Aaron made a huge difference. And I didn't give up. And so, and here I am. And we want you to become successful in this. And as I said before, I'm going to turn it back over to Aaron, because we're going to actually go, he's going to take you on a tour of the How to License Your Music Premium website. And then he's going to turn it back over to me. I'm going to do a tour of basically a new course. But before I turn it back over to Aaron, I just want to kind of reiterate and repeat something, which is your products are very important. The quality of your products are vital. You know, that's kind of why we're here, but it's not really why we're here. To me, why we're here is because in order to succeed in this industry and in anything in life, you need to be able to maintain a certain level of confidence and sanity in this brutal world. And the way to do that is to form a community and form a partnership with somebody or some people and have a team. Here we are in our island home studios. You know, I mean, you know, hours every day I'm here in this room, but I get out and I network. And that's because, you know, that's one of the things Aaron really encouraged me to do. Get out and network, you know, don't give up, get out, get hooked up. And then he built and built and built up this empire. He has an empire right now, How to License Your Music Premium. And so Aaron is like a very, very important person in the music industry. And I want you guys that are members already to really appreciate who you have here. And for those of you who are not members and you're just seeing all this stuff for the first time, you know, I encourage you, if you can, to definitely become a premium member of howtolicenseyourmusicpremium.com. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to the legendary Aaron J. Davison.
So, well, thank you for saying that. We're going to give you guys a tour of the member site. I know a lot of you are, thank you, Deb, for saying that. Can you see the comments, by the way, Gary?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So before we go into the member site and sort of walk everybody through how that works, do you want to maybe take a few questions? I know there's some comments about your presentation. Did you want to maybe answer a few questions
Sure.
regarding the 3D reverb first, and then we can jump into the member site?
Sure.
Okay.
So let me take a look. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you guys have any questions, I know Deb said she needs more ear training to hear the difference in terms of 3D reverb versus regular reverb. But if you guys have any specific questions about what you just saw, let's do that first, and then we'll jump into the member site and all that material. The site is awesome. Some really useful stuff on there. Thank you, Phil, for saying that. Yeah, and again, I know a lot of you are already members and you're already familiar with the site, but we wanted to sort of give you guys a tour just to make sure everybody's utilizing all the content, because we do have a ton of content on the member site. Let's see, there's also a Q&A section. Did you see that? Does it matter what reverb you use? So in terms of creating 3D reverb, does it matter which reverb they're working with?
Yes. And so like I found that Protoverb, which you'll get, Aaron's going to give you a link to that, which is, it's called Researchware. It's a company that does research on different plugins, and they offer this legitimately for free. So that particular Protoverb, I tried it out, and there are some reverbs and some reverb settings that will not really, you know, it'll work. It'll give you 3D reverb, but it won't be something that will make any sort of a big difference in your mix. So that's the art. So I'm showing you the science is the process. So the art is where you roll up your sleeves, sweat a little bit, and do some experimenting. Artists are experimenters, right? We're inventors. So you're gonna have to go in there and you're gonna have to try out the different reverbs you have, and you just set it up exactly per the process I showed, and you'll see right away. You know, you'll see right away. And if you can't hear like the big differences, like I think, who was it, Deb, that said she had, you know, needs the ear training. Well, that I'm going to give that to you. I'm going to empower you so that you have music production ear training exercises to do, and your ear is going to get finely tuned so you can hear all the nuances that you need to hear in a mix.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes, it does make a difference on which reverb you use.
And it's also a lot easier to hear the effect if you're wearing headphones. So I don't know if you're wearing headphones, Deb, but if you're listening to this through your laptop or through your phone, it's going to be much harder to hear the effect.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was one question. Let's see. Oh, it's the same question. Oh, here's another one. What exactly is throwing one of the reverbs out of phase? How do you do that?
Sure. So what it means is you have two reverbs, one hard left, one hard right. They're identical. Now, normally, if you take, let's say, two vocal tracks, you duplicated a vocal track, and you put one hard left and one hard right, and you put them out of phase, what that means is this. You know when you see a waveform and it goes up and it goes down? Okay. If you have two tracks, because we have two reverb tracks, and if the waveforms are parallel, when they both go up and they both go down and they both go up and they both go down, that plays nice with speakers, and speakers are going to be able to reproduce that. If you take one of those tracks and the waveform, instead of going parallel, going up and up, down and down, up and up, down and down, one of them goes opposite. When one goes up, it goes down. When one goes down, it goes up. They're going opposite, like this. What that equals, if you did it mathematically, is since, like, let's say this is +3 -3, that equals 0. This is +2 -2, that equals 0. The speaker gets the information of 0. So it's going to actually create silence. So when you throw something literally 100% out of phase, or they call it, so you're switching the polarity, what you're actually doing. That's the technical term for it. And kind of the colloquial term is you're putting it out of phase. And again, that's where you make the waveforms opposite of each other. So I know this is a little, scientific and technical, but this is the only way to answer this question correctly. And when you have that situation happening on most audio sources, like a vocal, they're going to create literally silence. You can try this in your DAW, and it's pretty interesting. Now, when you take reverb, the algorithm of a reverb, the way reverbs are created are random. Okay, they're random. So every time you turn on a reverb, and it's basically millions of little delays. That's what reverb is. Like you're in a cave. Okay, it's reverb. So how does reverb get created? You're in this big space with lots of hard objects and walls, and you start talking, and there's millions of little delays happening. And that's reverb. The way that they create reverb in plugins is they do these millions of little delays, but they're done randomly. It's always different. It's just random. And that gives it gives a more natural sound of reverb by making it random. So now if you have two reverb, same plugin, right? We use the same plugin twice. So picture this, they're both creating random millions of little delays. So while this one's going up, this one might already be going down. So when you put it out of phase, they actually kind of go in and out of phase. They're going in and out of phase like millions of times. And what it does to the listener is awesome. Like that randomness and that little out of phase randomness just creates this reverb that you can't even tell where it's coming from. It sounds like it's coming from nowhere, everywhere. It's behind you, it's over there. And it's this thing that gives certain records a certain polish, a certain sound. And there's no other way to get that kind of polish and that kind of sound than actually putting it out of phase. It has to be exact, has to be exact volume. You put that randomness out of phase and there you go, boom. And I'm really glad someone asked that, because that's probably the first time I've had the opportunity to really explain the science behind 3D reverb and exactly how it works. So hopefully that was clear, Aaron.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. Let's do one or two quick more questions, and then we'll get into the member site and your new course. Someone asks, does it cause phase cancellation as the effect does seem quieter? I kind of noticed that too, that the 3D reverb effect actually seemed quieter than the regular reverb. Is that due to phase
Yeah.
cancellation?
Yeah, so you can, then you just adjust your mix, you know,
Yeah,
as necessary. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, excellent. Would it help? Here's one more question, and then we'll jump into the other information. Would it help to phase shift the signal slightly as well?
See, I love questions like that because that's an artist asking that question. That's a what if. And that, to me, that's what an artist is there to do. Ask what if. Like, so I think that's a great question. Like, does it cause, no, where is it? Would it help to phase shift the signal slightly as well? That's like, well, what if I put a phase shifter on there as well? And you know what? I don't know. And who is that to ask that? Let's see. Phil.
Phil.
So Phil, you know what? After this webinar, I'm going to try it. So you try it too, and why don't you send me an email? Let's see what happens. I think it's a great question.
Cool. So, okay, let's do this. We're going to give you guys, again, a quick tour of the member site. I know a lot of you are members already, but we want to walk you through. We just want to kind of take an opportunity to make sure everybody's utilizing all the different resources that we're offering. If you're not a member, you know, make sure you check this out to see what the member site includes, because we have a ton of resources. And then at the end, we're going to go over the Gary Gray Advanced Craftsman Clinic series, which is included as a part of the membership free of charge. So we're not going to sell you guys anything extra today. And I'm actually going to take off. I find it sort of weird talking with headphones on because I feel like I'm in a tunnel. I can't really hear myself, so that's better. Okay, so let me know if you guys can see this. We'll go to screen share. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see Facebook. Yeah. Now I see free webinar.
Now we're into
creating
this
3D Reverb.
site. So let's do this. We're going to go to the home page. And we will log into the site. So just to make sure we're all on the same page, if you're already members and you want to easily log into the member site, from the home page, there's a button that says login here, and you log in there, obviously. So with your email address and password that you created when you joined, you can log into the member site. So from here, you are taken to the members portal, the members homepage. So at the top of the members homepage, if you guys haven't noticed this already, there's a link to Gary's new, it's called the Advanced Craftsman Clinic series. So if you click on here, you'll be taken to Gary's new course. We'll go over that in a second. I think you guys are already aware of Eddie's weekly mastermind. So Eddie Gray, no relation to Gary Gray, has a weekly mastermind session. So for all you members, make sure you're checking these out. It's every Saturday at noon Pacific. It's an hour-long live session where you guys can connect with Eddie. And I know he has different projects that participants are working on. I think we're up to like 25 or 30 people that are logging in every week. So it's a great opportunity to stay on top of the business, connect with other people in real time. So below that, our newest courses are at the top of the page. And again, we have Gary's course above that. Below this, I'm sure all of you are aware of the music licensing lead section. So every single day, this actually says new leads added weekly. It's actually daily. So every single day we're posting a new lead in this section where you can submit your music. And there's libraries, publishers, supervisors. You can submit your music daily. To the right of that is the music business courses section. I think we're up to, I think it's 19 or 20 courses, Gary. So
Wow.
Again, latest courses at top. Everything is categorized by topic. So music licensing is at the top. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 courses on music licensing specifically. Below that, music production. These are all Gary's courses that he mentioned at the beginning of the webinar. 4 courses so far. A couple courses on music marketing, internet marketing, and we're going to add to these courses as we go. From here, you can go back to the home page. to the right of the courses, actually, let's skip that. Let's jump down to the webinar section. So once a month, we do a live webinar just for members. This particular webinar is free for anyone to join, but we do a webinar specifically for our members every single month. And then we post all the replays in this section as well. So in this section, we have, multiple, probably 20 or so different webinar replays at this point on different topics: analyzing songs for licensing, using loops in licensing, how to build a full-time licensing business. There's a ton of information in this section alone. So real quickly, we won't go over all the topics. The music licensing business directory section, I think this is pretty self-explanatory. You can continue to pitch your music to other people in the industry. We have a Spotify directory as well. Spotify in streaming is an area that I want to get more into, going forward. I want to continue to learn and offer resources about that. We should have a Spotify section where I've done 2 webinars on Spotify so far. So if you guys are interested in Spotify specifically, check out that section. So again, most of you that are watching this are probably already members. If you're not a member though, we're offering in conjunction with this webinar and Gary's new course, a promo where you can join this weekend, so between now and Sunday, for $97, and you can get everything that we just mentioned, plus Gary's new Advanced Craftsman Clinic series. It's all a part of the membership. It's $97 for an entire year. So again, we don't want to do any hard sell today, but I'm just going to link to that in the chat box. So as soon as I can figure out how to get back to the chat box, I think I have to stop the share. So I'm gonna go back to you, Gary. I'll put the link in the chat box so everybody has that. Again, okay. It's $97 for an entire year. You get all the courses, the webinars, the leads, the directory, and the Advanced Craftsman Clinic series is a part of all of this. So I know, Gary, you're going to go over that now. So I'll pass it back to you.
Awesome. So that's awesome. And again, I just wanted to tell you guys that what you have, with Aaron is an incredible, important person in the industry, and he's constantly upgrading. He's a real inspiration for all of us because he is showing by example that it's a marathon race that you have to run every day, and he's constantly improving that website. And I'm just really proud and honored to be a part of it. So I'm going to take you now. This is part of the purpose of this webinar today is to launch the Gary Gray Advanced Craftsman Clinic series. And it's kind of a revolutionary correspondence course. So I'm going to share my screen right now. Let me get that going. All right. And get that. That was the video off of there. And so here, what you should see, do you see the home page of the Gary Gray Advanced Craftsman Clinic series, Aaron?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. So in the member site, you saw a button. So basically, you become a premium member. You're now in the member site. And from there, you click on the Gary Gray Advanced Craftsman Clinic series button, and it will take you to this page. And so it says premium members. To get started, click on the course tab above. And good luck, okay? So here's the course tab, and we're going to be going over that in detail in just a moment. I'm just going to take you on a quick tour. There's the home again. This is just a little bit about me and the clients that I service. And then there's a mission statement, which tells you the purpose. I'm going to read the mission statement of the program itself, of the Craftsman Clinic series. And that is to help serious students become well-rounded and elite craftsmen as composers, songwriters, musicians, orchestrators, beat makers, arrangers, producers, engineers, and entrepreneurs in order to correctly prepare for a full-time living in the music licensing industry. Okay, and that's the purpose of this whole Craftsman Clinic series. And what I did was I did a survey on the premium website, and I got incredible response. And that's why this course is even here. It's basically answering a survey of what people wanted. So here's the course. When you click on the course, it'll say welcome. and then it gives an explanation. It talks about Aaron, and I'll be changing this, but you'll see right there, it talks about today's webinar that was on there. And so it says the Gary Gray Advanced Craftsman Clinic Series correspondence course is a free service, again, for premium members. So you have, all you guys can start this today, like right now. And there's only one prerequisite. So the prerequisite for this course, everything below, is that you complete the 8-hour video course called Music Production Fundamentals. And that's also free, and that's in the premium member site. And the reason that I have that as a prerequisite is because in there, you know, I describe in this course, you know, that course in itself took months to put together, and it was a result of years of research of how mixing and production is a mental sport and how there's illusions that happen. There's specific scientific illusions that occur, because I've done a lot of research into psychoacoustics, when you're mixing. And those things, if you're not aware of them, can really, really like tear you down in terms of confidence. If you know where they are and you know how to deal with them and you know how to create a great mix by understanding how sound works and how mixes actually operate within themselves, your confidence is going to go way up. You're going to stop second guessing. So that is the prerequisite. And you can, everything on the Advanced Craftsman Clinic series is designed so that you have direct access to me. You do certain lessons. I actually grade them. But let's say you didn't get one fully right for some reason. You got a 90% on something. I'm going to show you and give you exercises and homework to do until you get it up to 100%. And it's not the grade I'm worried about. I don't care. I don't care how fast or slow you go. Here's what I care: how careful you study. To me, like, you know, there's no such thing as a fast, you know, student who's real impressive or a slow student who's something wrong with them. No, everybody has their own speed. Everybody learns at their own rate. Everyone has certain strengths and weaknesses. Some people learn certain things fast, and other, like for me, you know, the thing that was really hard for me to learn fast, I was slow, was licensing. Aaron's the one that helped me through it. It was so confusing to me. So he's helped me become more of a fast student over the years. And that's what I want to do for you. So no matter how fast or slow or what you know or what you don't know, you'll see how this course is going to help you. Okay, so let's move on. So one of the things I say here is, one of the things I learned over the last 30 years while mentoring hundreds of students one-on-one is this: group settings are excellent for creating a community, collaboration relationships, networking, and inspiration. And then it goes on to say, in fact, I strongly suggest that you join the Eddie Gray Saturday Mastermind sessions every Saturday at 12 noon, you know, California time. Now you can find the service on the premium website like Aaron showed you. And Eddie joined howtolicenseyourmusic.com in 2015. And he was mentored by Aaron on the business side of things, while I mentored Eddie on the production side of things from March of 2015 until March of 2017. So for 2 years, I mentored Eddie. And here's what he wrote to me during his last week of lessons. He said, I watched the entire series of music production fundamentals, including the 2-hour vocal session. It was amazing, Eddie Gray. And so you can see there's a testimonial from Eddie up there. And then Eddie has since gone on to join Aaron and I as partners at HTLYM Premium. And I'm extremely proud of him for what he has accomplished and for working so hard and succeeding at such a high level in his career. Eddie is an amazing person and an incredible resource for HTLYMPremium.com. Take advantage of his help. You will be extremely happy that you did. So, you know, as partners here, we're all working together, Aaron, Eddie, and myself. And I encourage you to use all of us. You know, like Aaron is the king of licensing, and he'll give you the business side. Eddie is a very successful TV composer and has an incredible way of teaching himself. And then I've got the Advanced Craftsman Clinic series going. So we feel like we are really helping the community, and that's why we're doing all of this. All right, so then you'll find out more about the course itself coming down, and then you're going to get assessment assignments to do. And I'll just quickly tell you, like the first one is you're going to go to the dictionary tab on this website. It says read each definition carefully. List out each term and type the definition of each term in your own words. showing that you fully understand the definition, and you give examples below. So like just for example, let's go to the dictionary. So it says, rather than simply list a bunch of technical terms with quick, incomplete definition, this home studio glossary has been designed to thoroughly and clearly define important concepts specific to home studio owners and the real-life application of those concepts, as well as straighten out any myths, confusions, and lies that exist regarding music production and business practices for the home studio owner. It says, study this glossary well and free yourself from confusions and frustration. Okay, so now this has very thorough definitions. And I spent a long time, this is actually years of research, and you'll go on, it goes on and on. So that's something it's so key, because the whole philosophy of this course, and I'm going to turn it back over to Aaron, when you're done with a certain lesson, you submit it here on the submit lessons page. It goes straight to me. And it says, audio homework, use a private SoundCloud link. Do not send MP3 or WAV files, because I'll just get hundreds of files that'll crash my computer. So don't do that to me, okay? And send a link, that's perfect, and then type your answers, essays. You can copy and paste, from a Word doc or something if you want your answers down below. Okay, so before I turn it back over to Aaron, I was saying that what I found is that for myself and my students, because I have several one-on-one students that I teach, and a lot of this curriculum came from students that I've had for, like some of them I've had for 2 years, and I've taken them from wherever they started, and now they're very successful in the industry. And this course lays out all the things that I did with my students that are one-on-one. It gives you the best chance to actually have me as a mentor, right? Where maybe you can't afford me as a mentor, one-on-one mentor. Well, this way for free, you're going to have this one-on-one communication with me, and you're going to go through, it's like a college course. This is really what this is. This is kind of the college course of HTLYM Premium. And you're going to have to roll up your sleeves. I'll tell you right now, those of you who are serious, and I know you are because you're here on this webinar. So I'm talking to everyone right now directly from me to you, which is this. And let me go off a screen share here. So I want to talk to you just as an individual right now. And that is this, is that Eddie and Aaron and myself, we're here to help you through all this stuff. It's tough. I mean, it's, here I am, I'm an hour south of Hollywood. I have access to a lot of things here in the industry. And even with all that access, it's tough, it's brutal. Let's not kid ourselves. It's not like, oh, join this premium website and everything is going to be smooth and cheery. It's not like that. I mean, you're going to get successes, and we're going to make sure you get those successes, and they're awesome. But it's like anything else in life. And in this case, it's even more so. Like, there's kind of more hurdles than normally you'd find. And Aaron and I are always talking about that. We're trying to do whatever we can for each other and for you guys to make this successful, okay? So the basic bottom line is that what I'm doing here and what I've designed is a curriculum that will help you be so confident in what you're doing that you just walk into a room and people can sense your confidence, and you'll be able to feel that. You'll be able to sit down at your home studio and you won't feel the second guessing anymore. You're going to know how to do this. And that big epic production you just saw in that video? I show you how to do that. The orchestration, the whole thing. You want epic? You got epic, okay? You want hip hop? You got hip hop. You want whatever you want, it's going to be delivered, but it's going to take your discipline, okay? Your hard work. It's going to take sweat. So I'm not kidding anybody here right now, is that this is going to take a lot of work. We're going to both be working hard to make you succeed. So I hope you enjoyed the tour. The course is officially launched. I know there's going to be questions, and you can ask questions, by the way, on that site. You can go to the submit lessons. You can use that. Say, hey, Gary, what about this? What about that? Hey, what do I do here? Or what's next? Whatever. Go ahead. I have that set up so that it's my priority inbox, and I'll get to you. I'm sure at first, you might have to wait a little bit, maybe a day or so, but stay with me. And I've got also, I have 4 interns here that are going to help administrate this. I'm going to do everything personally, but I do have help to administer all this stuff and make it go faster. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'm going to turn it back over to Aaron now. And basically, we're going to talk about the premium website again before we end off. And I guess if you want to take any questions, Aaron, we could do a little question and answer at the end as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys have any more questions, we're happy to spend a few more minutes and address those questions. I just wanted to take a moment to sort of publicly acknowledge both you, Gary, and Eddie. Someone mentioned it in the comments that Eddie does a great job on the Saturday sessions, and we should be proud of him. And,
yes.
and absolutely. I just wanted to say, like, one of the really cool things about working with you and Eddie, Gary, is watching you guys continually sort of up your game and contribute. Because I have to just tell you guys, a lot of what Eddie and Gary are doing, they're not doing it because I'm paying them anything extra. They're not doing it necessarily to make a lot of money. They're just doing it because they really believe in what they're doing. And so working with people like you and Eddie causes me to want to up my game. Like seeing all the work that you guys put into this, and Eddie came up with the idea of like, hey, I want to do a weekly mastermind session for free for your members. So seeing him do that and you do this course makes me want to contribute more and up my game and do more webinars. And so I think that's a really powerful thing, just surrounding yourself with the right people. And I think that's one of the cool things about this community and this website is that we're all kind of working towards the same goals and inspiring each other. Because when you see people, again, like Eddie and Gary, that are doing this full time, that have figured out how to make a career out of it, you look at it and you realize, oh, this is doable. You can make a living doing this. There is work out there, but you have to work hard, like you said. But I love the expression that if you do what you love, you never truly work a day in your life, right? Because there's a lot of time that you put into it, but it's fun work. So I just want to emphasize that it's hard work in a sense, but it's also a lot of fun because it's music, and what's cooler than that. So with that said, if you guys have any final questions, let's take a moment and go over those. And again, let me link one more time to, if you're not a member already, you can join. And again, it's $97 for an entire year. And I'm not the world's best salesman, but you really can't beat the price. I mean, if you look at everything that we've included in the member site, and that's kind of one of the things that I'm proud of, is that this resource that we put together is truly a great deal. I wouldn't feel good trying to sell something to you guys that wasn't valuable. There are more and more people sort of entering this space. Thank you, Eric. Eric says, I'm selling for you. Thanks for your comments. This is an incredible bargain. Randall says, thank you guys. No, truly, like there's a lot of people entering this space selling courses. I won't mention any names, but there are people selling courses for $1,200, $2,400 a year that are very similar to what we put together. And my whole idea with somebody said, where's the link? It's right above your comment. Here, I'll paste it one more time. Bam. If you go there, you can sign up $97 for an entire year. Deb said, there are people out there that are $2,000 for 6 months that have nothing in capital letters compared to this. Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, that's my feeling. I look at these other courses and I see what people are charging, and it kind of, like, honestly, it kind of breaks my heart, because I know how hard it is to get into this industry. We all know the struggling artist sort of stereotype. So I wanted to put something together where we offer tremendous value and we charge an incredibly fair price. And I feel like that's what we've done and we're continuing to do. And I think our resource just keeps getting better and better. And at some point, probably we'll have to raise the prices, but we want to offer this to you guys for $97. So that's all I have to say. I think we have an amazing resource. If you're interested in licensing, if you guys have any final questions, let us know. Evander says it's a great site. I'm new to it, but finding so many gems already. Yeah, I think it's like 100+ hours of content and growing. And the cool thing is when you join now, you get access to all the previous resources. So all the leads, all the existing courses. So in a way, you sort of get a better deal if you join now. For some reason, the link still isn't showing up in the stream for me. That's really strange.
I see it. You know what? Yeah, I see it. Maybe you just might have tried it a couple times again.
Let me try it now. This is the third time. Let me know, Kate, if you see it now. So how about now, ? And then, oh, somebody says, I think you've sent it to the panelists. Oh, you know what? And
oh, yeah, you have to do all people.
Thank you so much for pointing that out. Let me know now, guys, because I actually didn't. We're still kind of new to Zoom. Here's the link.
That's probably why I see it then. Yeah.
Let me know now if you guys see it. Yeah, we just started using Zoom a couple months ago, and I'm still kind of figuring out sort of the ins and outs. Oh, and again, we wanted to. So here's the link to join the member site for $97. And then Gary, I saw you posted the link to the plugin.
Yeah.
Deb asks, would you ever consider having a co-writers page on the site? So if we're interested in writing with others, we might know how to contact each other. Kate says
that's kind of the mastermind.
Well, yeah. So I would say that's sort of the mastermind. There's a lot of collaborating and co-writing as a part of that. That's one opportunity for that. The Facebook page that is a private, closed Facebook page for members only would be another place to connect with other members and potentially connect and collaborate. I can look into setting something up specifically for co-writers if that's something you guys are interested in. Absolutely. Let me think about that and get back to you.
Yeah, Deb said, yeah, okay, didn't think of the FB page. Yeah, that's a great resource.
Yeah, the Facebook page is just for members, and I think we're up to like 350 members, which is awesome. I mean, we've been doing this 2 years, so we've had a lot of people sign up. So absolutely check out the Facebook page and maybe propose something on the Facebook page for other people to connect with you. Okay, cheers for the plugin link. Wait, that's the Protoverb link, not the sign up link. Okay, so there's two different links. So again, here's the link to. I don't know why you guys aren't seeing this. I'm gonna link it again. Do you guys see that now? This is for me to.
Oh, it says all panelists on my end, Aaron. Do you see the drop down? It says, you know what I'll do?
Oh no, I see it now. All panelists and attendees.
Yeah, try that one.
You know what's funny as I'm doing this, Gary, is I'm realizing in past webinars that probably the exact same thing happened.
Oh, wow.
Okay, see it now, got it now. Thank you, guys. I apologize. I didn't realize that it worked that way.
There you go.
Which explains why nobody signed up on the last one. And nobody told me. I'm pasting these links and nobody told me anything. Got it now, link showing. Okay, so we have the link to the plugin, the link to the member site if you guys want to join. And again, that's between now and Sunday. So sign up this weekend. And your course, they can start that right away, right?
That's right. Yeah. And actually, I had a beta test going, and some people, I see some of them here today, John Lendells and other people that have actually been, because I wanted to make sure the site was up and running and everything was smooth. And so I've already had several people go through the assessment assignments. And John, I know you noticed this. I saw your comment, which is that the assessment assignments have been updated. There's a few more things in there. I did get your original one, and it looks excellent. And so what'll happen is I'll be assessing you guys as you put these first assignments together, and I'll kind of give you I will give you actually specifically a customized curriculum for you so that you don't do things you already know. And I may add things if I see a certain thing that you need help with, because there was a blog that went out recently where I said, the toughest thing about learning is that for everyone in life, there are things that you don't know that you don't know. And you run into that barrier in every study, every subject. So I ran into it with music production. There were just things that I knew I didn't know this. I knew I didn't know how to get a good reverb sound, and then I got a good reverb sound. I knew I didn't know how to do my low end, and then I got my low end. But I didn't know certain things that I didn't even know existed. And that's what I'm trying to show and put together, a full package of all the things that you may not know that you don't know. That's what you're going to get really with the Advanced Craftsman Clinic series, so that you can really have like 100% confidence in yourself, move forward and succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, we're at 2:14, so we're about 15 minutes over the original hour we had planned for. If you guys don't have any more questions, I think we'll wrap up. Gary, thanks so much for doing this. The new course looks awesome. Thanks to all of you that tuned in. Thank you, Evander, for watching. Does it matter which DAW you use for the Craftsman course?
No, it doesn't. And as you saw, I use several DAWs. I use Logic, I use Cubase, I use Pro Tools, I use Ableton. So you'll be seeing when I do get your curriculum to you, it doesn't matter which DAW you use. You're good.
Okay, cool. So awesome. Well, listen, this was a lot of fun. One more question. What's the best email to reach out with a support question? Here, let me give you guys both my email and Gary's email. So my email is aaron@htlympremium.com. There's my email. Gary, do you want to paste your email in there?
Sure. Okay, see if I did that right. Gary@learnaudioengineering.net.
And then somebody said, what's Guy email to get set up for collaboration? I'm not sure which Guy.
Oh, maybe Eddie Gray for the mastermind.
I'm not sure. But
Let's see.
Gary, what city are you located in? Gary is in.
Yeah, I'm in Tustin, which is like an hour south of Hollywood, and right next to Disneyland and not far from Laguna Beach. So if you ever want to come out and do some one-on-one mentoring, you'll be able to be, you could have a little vacation of it and come on down to Southern California, and I'll be happy to meet you. I have a lot of people from over the years. I've had a lot of people actually come visit me in my home studio, and I'll do some, one-on-one mentoring, apprenticing here. So yeah, that's where I am.
And I'm here in Chicago, in Chi-Town. So if any of you are in the Midwest, we could potentially meet up as well. I'd like to start doing meetups again. Remember, we did a meetup in LA a few years ago. I did one in Chicago as well, I think right around the same time. But I'd like to bring that back at some point. But listen, guys,
awesome.
let's wrap up. Thank you so much. This was a fun webinar, and I look forward to seeing everybody in the members area.
Thanks, guys.